smo protiv ugnjetača i njihovih pomagača, legionara i fašista, aj Karmela, aj Karmela. Legionara i fašista, aj Karmela, aj Karmela. Samo jedna, da fašista više nema. Mi nemamo avione, tenkove i kamione, aj Karmela. Nestaje nam municije, hladan vjetar poljem prije, aj Karmela. Ne mogu nam bombe ništa, ni oluja, niti kiša. Gdje se ova pjesma čuje, aj Karmela, aj Karmela. Tamo srce pobjeđuje, aj Karmela, aj Karmela. Samo jedna, da fašista više nema. Mi nemamo avione, tenkove i kamione, aj Karmela. Nestaje nam municije, hladan vjetar poljem prije, aj Karmela. Ne mogu nam bombe ništa, ni oluja, niti kiša. Gdje se ova pjesma čuje, aj Karmela, aj Karmela. Tamo srce pobjeđuje, aj Karmela, aj Karmela.
Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Addon, and I write games for fun. Today we're working on Iron Caskets yet again. And yesterday we left off on the campaign and commander creation. So, everyone checking. A little you knew you're going to get pizza ASMR. Started eating this piece of pizza during the intro. I'm like, oh, I'm going to finish it now. Good stuff. And we're also drinking Moriyama Cafe Latte because I'm embracing my inner weeb, I guess. Japanese. Pretty konnichiwa, if I do say so myself. I offended someone with that, but yeah. So, commander creation, we have all our positives, and we have all our negatives, including a famously bad general for Operation Torch. And effectively, all of these are things that you can select for your, your general or your commander to have. Now, what I can do. Yeah, perfect. My commander is assumed to have to have equal positive and negative with one more positive attribute than a negative. I wonder if I do this. There we go. Aha. And heading 3. I've got to do this. So, effectively, these are affecting your overall regiment the second you begin. Let me turn down my sweet Hawaiian beats so I don't deafen myself. And overall, what the intent of this is to do is set up a interesting scenario for the players to work under. Not necessarily like a direct impact, like you will now have a +5 to this, or you will now have a +10 to this. No, it's things that affect them overall. You might have, denied artillery. The regiment cannot request artillery support. Very useful. Artillery support is very useful. Sometimes. But if you don't have it, you no longer can use it. We have Man in the High Castle, which is a reference to Man in the High Castle. I know, big think brain time. And it's also the idea of your commander's kind of so far above you. He's not caring. He just isn't really caring about you, and your problems are a lot bigger. So you also have insufficient supply, inefficient supply, or inept logistics. How I plan on doing logistics is fairly simple. Is at the beginning of every mission, you have a set number of logistics, which you can use to purchase different kinds of ammunition, do repairs, obviously, on your tanks, as well as be able to use remaining logistics to call in support. Use things like artillery, aircraft, or have assistance from other sides of the army. It's the, hey, please get that AT gun over here so we actually have some fire support, versus, hey, we're going to now charge a tank line because we're idiots and don't have any supply. The lack of supply, the lack of logistics, is painful because you have less tools to maneuver with. But you can also say, hey, we have our guys have inept logistics, but he's an expert mechanic, and he's an iron soldier, and everyone has combat rating defense. You may not have supply, but god damn it, you can fix your shit on the fly. Or you have things like Quartermaster General. The regiment has Ranger, which you can remain hidden in forests and such. The fight in Iron Caskets should feel unique, and your commander is the one that makes it kind of unique. These are dramatic men or women that fight tooth and nail and give the regiment a lot more flavor than just, dare I say, just you and your mates. So now we get to work on regiment creation. So First Battalion, First, Second, and Third Battalion. Nope. Guns back there. Don't worry about that. let's take a look at the armor battalion. So our tank battalion. So this is pretty much where you are. You're one of these guys right down here. So yeah, you're like a tank platoon, part of the tank company. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's get myself back up and running. And actually, let's see, Africa Core. What is the composition? That's all I want to know. What? Yeah. Ah, here we go. That's not anything what I was looking for. But there was an attempt. Okay, we're just gonna have to go with the combined arms battalion here. So, combined regiment creation. Actually, it'd be okay. There we go. Regiment. Yeah. How do I want to do this? Overall, your regiment is... Actually, no. I'm going to do side note, regiment composition. Depending on the era, war, and tactical situation. In tactical situation, the regiment can be composed of a variety of ways. Can be composed in a variety of ways. Variety of ways. The regiments in a variety of ways. What else am I thinking here? Alright, yeah, I'm gonna clean my glasses off a little bit so I can actually see things. A strict armored regiment. Regiment is composed of armored regiment. It's always hard because, again, you can type it in and see what you're looking for, but here's your tank battalion. An armored regiment is composed primarily of tank battalion. Armored battalions with 1 or 2 battalions of infantry to supplement the efforts. However, more mixed, more combined arms regiments may be composed of more infantry, artillery, or light motorized battalions rather than just armor. When creating your regiment, determine who the major players of the regiment are. Let's see. Come on, give me a battalion. Battalion. Let's Google battalion again. I get major. The battalion is controlled by a major or lieutenant colonel. Well, they don't have a strict influence on the personality of the regiment. They do a significant influence on the characters' lives, and as well as possible promotion. So, yeah, your regiment. Okay. Yeah, welcome to the wonderful world of military organization. I'm trying to get something of this scale to even actually function in my head. So you have your corps, you have your battalions. Yeah, significant influence on the character's lives, as well as possible promotion. Quartermasters, secondary commanders, and even the basic command, and even the HQ staff all have influence and personalities. Not every sergeant, not every sergeant. Not every sergeant needs a detailed backstory, nor does the field marshal of the entire force, of the entire front. What matters is the people who the characters will interact with. So, we have our regiment, colonel, lieutenant general, actually brigadier general, the commander, and under them we have the battalion, commander, the major / lieutenant colonel, colonel. This is the time where I wish I had some military people in the chat where I can just bounce off what I'm trying to go for here, but I don't have that. I have myself, the battalion, and then we have the company. Captain, first LT, major, and then platoon, second lieutenant, LT, second lieutenant, first LT, and just LT, and then lieutenant. And the players. Combined Armed Regiment composed primarily of colonel regiments, significant influence, quartermasters, colonel. Yeah, or is it? Armored battalion, armored company, armored platoon, which brings me back to infantry battalions. Actually, what I'm gonna do, I said I wouldn't do it, but I think we need to go here because I do have an entire set of notes on this particular section, on this particular idea in this game. So, Arts of Darkness, Dancing in the Glory of Monsters, Madman Monsters faction, Dogs of War, Popular Uprising, Independence War, Faction Point Cost List, Rumble in the Jungle. The average size of a brigade. So overall, a brigade is right there. About a regiment. Regiment, platoon is 3 to 5 squads, company 3 to 6 battalions. There we go. And then we have a infantry company. Infantry platoon. Infantry squad. Sergeant. Corporal. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? Sport company, captain, first LT, majors, light tanks, tank company, light tank company, service company. Yeah, so you have to go to service company. And this is where maintenance, supply and trend, maintenance platoons, maintenance platoon, transport. Essential part of war. Administration platoons. Armor platoon. Maintenance platoon. Maintenance section. Section, second lieutenant, first lieutenant, lieutenants. Engineers. And then administration and supply section. Battalion HQ. Battalion HQ. HQ company. Lieutenant Colonel. So pretty much these guys are running these things. And here you have headquarter HQ section. HQ section. Maintenance recon. Maintenance recon. Maintenance. There we go. Probably get Melon to look at this actually. He's a mortar platoon. Mortar platoon. And platoon. Guess what time it is? It's copy paste time. Actually, I'm going to take that the mortar platoon just because this is kind of like the most basic one you can. Infantry company composition. Rifle company, rifle platoons, and then rifle squad. And then sergeant and corporal, and then we have support company. Under, you guessed it, captain, first lieutenant or major. Jesus Christmas Christ Almighty. So, fire support company. Support company, fire support company. Oh God, this wasn't supposed to take this long. This wasn't supposed to take this long at all. HQ company, major, lieutenant colonel. Hearts of Darkness, you can go away. We're going to go with a division. Division, Major General. general. This was not the intent to make it this big, but core, and the core is under a lieutenant general. Core is under a lieutenant general / general, depending on / marshal. Marshal, depending on the situation, but most likely it'll be a general or lieutenant general. Technically, we could go farther, but I don't want to literally burn my eyes out doing more of this because this is quality content, as you can tell. The actual size of a regiment. Number of pitches to work with. We'll use 10s, 10. So. Or 3 to 5 tanks. Or let's see, actually, armored company. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So full tank company has High Krita. I mean, for a total of 14 tanks. So 3 to 5. So actually, we'll do 4 tanks. 4 tanks a battalion. Or about 4. I'll do about 4 tanks. Or about, let's see, 12 to 15, 12 to 20 tanks. Or about, we'll be looking at 80 to, or about 80 to 120 tanks. Three to 6 battalions, so that would be 80 times 3. To the calculator. The things I do forget these games. The things I do. So we're looking at 80 times 3 equals 240 to 6 times 120. So 240 or about 240 to 720 tanks. Yo, do you have to worry about this? Absolutely not. You worry about this. You have your few tanks. You don't really need to worry about the bigger picture, really. Which I actually should put, side note, the bigger picture. Ultimately, this game is about the dramatic lives of tank commanders and the men under their watch. A platoon of tanks is the focal point. If large-scale battles occur, then having the rough idea of the number of tanks involved is a good idea. But don't feel the pressure to include 300 plus tanks in an individual battle, and being forced to roll for all of them. Iron Caskets is about a group of men, about a group of soldiers rolling to their graves. Graves, auto military simulator. You know, does that detract a little from it? Probably, but my thinking is this. If you want to play a full-on super mil sim and have like autistic detailed all of that, there are games for that. This isn't one of them. It's the purpose of this isn't to do that. It's to tell a story of tankers and soldiers and fighters, effectively. You know, the men who risked their lives, you know, to fight these grand wars we don't see very often, or get dramatized that only one man in his tank are the ones who solved this war. No, these are people who risk their lives going out in these are effectively heavily armored caskets and praying they don't get hit and explode. You know, it's a kind of like a fighter pilot kind of game, and honestly, I've been debating on how to do effectively an Ace Combat game for a while now. I know how to do it, and I might actually crib some mechanics if I ever do decide to write my own, and I don't just say, fuck it, place Crimson Skies instead. Then I will probably be using some mechanics from this, just the idea of like momentum and stuff, but it's the same idea. You're Knights of the Sky. Yeah, being in a plane's dangerous, and getting shot down is a very real possibility. You know, hell, you in a game during the Battle of Britain, like, hey, you have 10 hours training and hardly anything else going for you. Good luck. You know, you are pretty much flying into your doom. Have fun. You know, if I were to do that, the characters are dramatic. They're larger than life. You know, they're important people in this conflict. They're cogs in the wheel of this war, but they're kind of larger than they let on, which kind of is one of the main factors of how regiments work, is dying is kind of a part of it. You want to shine as bright as you can, so when you inevitably do get your top popped, you come out you come out better for it. So, you know, the regiment benefits while you may be a smoldering corpse. Actually, that reminded me of something. I gotta put a side note on realism. If amping up the realism. If you wish to make your game a little bit more realistic, feel free to add the popping the top rule. Not top rule. Effectively, the tank commander is in their vehicle at all times, and their line of sight is directly in front of them. And of them is directly in front of them 5 spaces. However, they may decide to go to pop the top of their tank and take a look around, giving them the 360-degree viewpoint. However, if they are exposed, small arms fire may strike them anytime they are attacked by small arms. They roll their warfare versus the opposing squad's combat rating. Yeah, that's That was kind of a rule I kept debating on adding in. It just never kind of came to be. So I'm going to put it here. I thought about it this afternoon, actually. I've been meaning to... I thought about putting it in earlier, but I got distracted by my friends wanting me to play Minecraft with them. Let's become a Minecraft streamer and make $1 bajillion that way. I'm making it big, boys. I've got 16 followers on a fucking whatever the hell this is. I don't know anymore. My life's falling apart. But I like it. So, we've gotten done with regiment creation. We kind of have that, how we want to do that. So what I'm going to do now is the war. War isn't one in a day. It's long. It's bloody. It's a dangerous affair for anyone involved. During the camp, it is assumed that during a campaign, the characters are in the midst of one of these wars, whether by choice, well, by choice or not. During this fight, their commander, regiment, and even themselves will gain glory. Fuck. War is... However, combat is not just fought using tanks and men on the ground. Artillery, men on the ground. Artillery, the Navy, Air Forces. The Navy, Air Forces, and a large helping of tactical logistics all factor into the success or failure of a conflict. So effectively, war is going to be split up into a few sections. We're going to have battles and scenarios. The regiment's honor and fame. The Reaper's toll. Actually, the commander's glory, the tank commander's glory, and the Reaper's toll. Actually, we'll split that up. No contractions. It is long, it is bloody, and it is a dangerous affair for anyone involved. So battles and scenarios are going to be our next one we get to deal with. And what I can do is select all of them and hit 3. Perfect. Actually, logistics and supply lines. Which, actually, what I can do, and I'll be the first one actually we deal with. So, Logistics and supply lines. War is not won by bullets. Bullets are bravery. It is won on full stomachs, warm soldiers, and fuel for vehicles. Logistics is the catch-all term for the supplies, equipment, repair work, and anything else that the regiment needs to continue functioning. Without their logistics, a regiment will feel the wrath of attrition and casualties mounting up. No ammo for guns, no food for bellies, and no metal for repairers. At the start of the campaign, the regiment will begin with a set of logistics determined by the War Master. This can be spent to acquire to acquire ammunition, request support, and repair major damage to vehicles. Certain events, situations, or combat scenarios may lead to the increase or decrease of the regiment's logistics. If the regiment's logistics ever reaches 0, they begin to attrition. Reducing all the damage, reducing all vehicle health by 1, and all soldiers' health by 1. Every time the attrition is called. Actually, by 1 every month without supplies. And so we need to get. So we're going to have to build a chart. So if we go back to project folder dies, And what are we dealing with? Ah, so purchase logistics cost. So I'm just going to put blanket ammo type, and it's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on what kind of ammo type it is. I still haven't got the exact way of how I want to do ammo, because on one hand, I can make it really simple and just split it up between high explosive and armor piercing, and the other hand, I can go really deep into it and do a lot of little things. So it's kind of a back and forth of how I want to do it. I may consult with some people, see what kind of the best situation is. But generally speaking, acquire ammo. Acquire ammo, have ammo, shoot gun. Let's see. Aircraft support. Mounting. Let's see, supply line cut. Supply lines cut. 4, 6, 8, 10, 15. Artillery support. 5, 10. Naval support. 10, 10. Oh, yeah, infantry support. Just 5, 5. Because that's literally just calling in more infantry into the fight, so you can actually use them. Where's some other good ones? Where's some other good support? Fortifications. 5, 10. Bridge crop. Artificial bridges. 515. Amphibious invasion. 1530. Additional hard points. 10, 20. Mounting cost. No. No. No, no. Yes, yes, yes. Actually, no. No, no. No. Yes. So pretty much every time you buy additional hard points, it's going to increase in cost. Mounting cost 5. But again, you're improving your tanks overall at the cost of it just being a lot more fucking expensive. You know, as you continuously attempt to do it, it's just going to cost more and more and more. Major module repair. Repair 5, 10, 5. Actually, no. vehicle health by 1, all soldiers health by, all crew health by 1. Health by 1 every month. Crew health by 1, and reduce infantry combat rating by 5, by actually 2 every month without supplies, by -2 every month without supplies. So we're going to do battles and scenarios. Battles have purpose. Even the smallest engagement can have a fundamental impact on the state of the war. Battles have purpose. Even the smallest engagement can have a fundamental impact on the state of the war. When engaging in a battle, risks and rewards must be calculated. And there is no shame in fleeing to find another day. Skirmishes. A skirmish is a small battle. Small battle taking place between a few tanks and possibly infantry. Skirmishes will last until one side is defeated, or both sides withdraw. And then we go to long battles. A long drawn out battle is the most common when dealing with large offenses. Offenses into enemy territory, or resisting said offensive. Oof. So let's say all resisting said offensive. Each of these battles will take place over the period of a few days to even weeks. Each inch in each battle of these engagements will be fundamental to the success or failure of the offensive. Treat these as a tug of war. After a certain amount of time, see below, whoever has the advantage has won the day. Won the day and forced the loser to retreat. However, on ties, the defender will always win. The defender will always win. And then we go to our untitled spreadsheet. And a large scale battle time. Actually, if I'm going to move you there, God, how do I want to word this? Oh, boga, how do I want to word this? Won the day, pretty much after a certain time, whoever. Okay. Importance of battle. Scale of time. Important scale of time. Number of conflicts. Unimportant. Not required. Unnecessary expedition. And we're going to name the last one decisive battle. Minor battle. Major battle. Important important push. Strategic importance. So an unnecessary expedition, scale of time is going to take days, minor battle days, major battles days, weeks, decisive battle, weeks, days and weeks, number of conflicts. An unnecessary expedition is pretty much going to determine in 4, and we're going to increase it by 2 each time to the end, which is going to be 14. See, they're even because, again, whoever wins it. Oh gosh, I clicked the wrong button. If it's a tie, the defender's going to win. However, let's say you're unnecessary expedition, and you win those first 3 battles. You're going to win. You're going to win regardless if you're the attacker. However, you're still going to fight all 4 battles, because that last battle could be them holding on to the bitter end. Every single cannon they have, every single soldier they have is going to be dedicated to it. And suddenly, you lose 3 tanks. Or your brave, or you're the commander who's been untouchable this entire time, gets hit straight with an RPG to his backside, and his top is popped, and he's a burning carcass. Every battle is important, and it's just the kind of the scale of like who has the front foot, who's on the back foot. A decisive battle. If you win 7 fights, then lose the next 7, nobody really wins. It's just you can have Pyrrhic losses, but you can also have Pyrrhic victories, but you can also have honorable defeats. Hey, yeah, we lost this battle. We lost this decisive battle. Crap. They're going to push us back, but we took down half of their armored core with us. We cut off their supply lines, and we guaranteed killed at least 2 tank aces that they had. So, we lost the battle, but we may still win the war. And that goes for you as well. So, doesn't help that I also have to do Sun Shadow tournaments, which is like, oh boy. Actually, these are already 3. These are 3, so I have to make these heading 4. Heading 4. Oh, didn't mean to do that. We want to go here. We want to select all of you. Paste unlinked. on this expedition, decisive battle, everything looks terrible. Oh god. Table properties, black, we'll put up 0.5, and we're going to set this to 1 to 0.5. There we go. Number of conflicts. Yeah, I'm going to actually see if I can't, push through all of these three. We're going to see if I can't. I'm going to see if I can't get regiments, all the regiments and campaign stuff done today. That'll be my goal for today. And so, honor it. In the field of battle, having honor and fame represent the regiment's perception. The perception of the regiment by friend and foe alike. Honor is the perception of enemies of the regiment with high honor being classed more in the light of noble souls fighting the other side, while low honor is more akin to fighting, paints the regiment as monsters in the guise of soldiers. Fame is the perception of the home front, as well as other soldiers inside of the army. It is a perception of the home front, as well as other soldiers inside of the army of the regiment. High fame. Enemies of the regiment. Oh, yeah. High honor being high fame shows that the regiment is beloved and celebrated back home and among the soldiers, bolstering morale and media presence. Low fame paints, displays the regiment as the dregs of the army. Not noble, not important, not noble or loved, but simply a saddening, a depressing fact of this war. The regiment's starting honor and fame are determined by rolling 2d10 for each of them, then adding any bonuses or penalties associated with the commander. And then we're going to go back here, and we're going to say Honor scale. Fame scale. Titles. 20 plus. God. I could do that, but I don't feel like it. Nah, fuck that. Honor can be traded into the honor can be traded to free captured allies or request assistance from local forces from local or online for actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to say honor the higher the honor of the regiment, the more favorable enemy commanders and soldiers will be toward the regiment. The lower the honor of the regiment, the less favorable enemy commanders and soldiers will act, possibly refusing surrenders. Honor can be gained by tank commanders performing noble deeds, sparing enemies, and generally performing good acts. Honor can be lost by tank commanders performing dastardly deeds, executing enemies, and being ruthless in their approach to war. Fame. Fame can be traded in to gain extra logistics at a 5-to-1 ratio. So pretty much 5 fame for 1 logistics. Or to call in a free the higher the fame of the regiment, the more beloved they are among soldiers, among your allies, among the allies of the nation, but the higher expectations they have. The lower the fame, the regiment, the less expectations they have, but the tasks they are assigned are far less glorious. So effectively, how honor and fame work, it's kind of your indirect way for the game master to, how do I word this, to influence events. If my regiment has ridiculously high honor, I mean like 20 plus, the enemy is going to view us in a lot more favorable light. We're the good guy. You know, we may be fighting on other sides of this war, but we are noble souls. We're fighting the good fight, but we're doing what we believe. Yeah, we're opposed to each other, but ultimately speaking, we're okay with one another. And If people are injured on either side, you'll be able to evacuate your guys. They won't fight. They won't execute you. They won't blow your tank to smithereens if you're stuck in a marsh. That's not fair and that's not honorable. On the flip side, having really high honor means that you're expected to act that way. And it's far easier to lose honor than it is to gain it. So you have to really work that trust up with your enemy, kind of. So if you betray them and execute start executing enemy soldiers, or you see an enemy tank commander and you blow them to smithereens when they're stuck and helpless, you're going to look a lot worse, and the enemy is going to start doing that to you. They're going to start playing not very fair against you. So that's kind of your indirect difficulty slider for the game master of how the enemy is going to perceive the players. On the other hand, fame is kind of what kind of missions you should be sending them on. A really famous regiment is going to start getting more and more glorious tasks, and if they fuck up anything, they're going to immediately pay the price. It's, you've successfully cleared this battle, and everyone thinks you're the greatest thing ever. Now go on to this impossible mission that our dear leader wants you to do because he's a moron who doesn't understand that being good at killing some tanks doesn't mean you can charge AT fire, AT lines, expect to come out alive. But having really low fame means that some of the missions you're going to go on are suicide missions because they don't want to get rid of you. You're not essential anymore. You're just a burden. You're a penal battalion. And you've gotten budget tanks and budget supplies, and you're marching straight into hell because that's the only place where people like you belong. And that's kind of your indirect way of shaping the campaign a bit for the players, is how they are acting in and on and off the field. If players start making ass out of themselves, they're going to make an ass out of the regiment. And it's kind of up to the GM to kind of make those calls of, hey, they really impressed the locals. Everyone kind of likes what they've done there. The tank commander kind of helped. A commander helped these local villages, and he's this nice guy, and everyone loves him, and he's going to get a bonus to the honor. However, tank rolling into middle of town, blowing up everything, not really going to make you that cool. And sometimes you're going to get into situations where you're caught between a rock and a hard place. Command wants you to march in the middle of town and blow everything up. You'll get fame for it, but you'll lose honor. But what do you balance? Do you try to be the noble soul, or do you try to, kind of support your own cause? It's a back and forth, because you want both, because you don't want to be targeted by the enemy one for one, and you don't want to not be loved by your own people, because you're not going to be able to trade in logistics. So it's kind of a carrot and stick scenario. You may be very honorable, but no one at home likes you. So let's see. Hundred. Hello. Ooh, woo. What's this? Oh, yeah, I'd never do that. I'll never do that again, everyone. I apologize. I always make fun of people who ooh woo at others. It's like, no, please, don't ooh woo at me. have select everything. I said select everything. God, diddly damn it. Control Shift 8. And now we go with the Tank Commander's Glory. As the war escalates, let's see. I'm going to increase the size of this a little bit. I usually keep it a little bit larger, but for some reason I forgot. So, as the war escalates, the tank commanders and their crew will gradually become more skilled at their jobs, increasing their own cohesion. At the conclusion of every battle or conflict, the crew gains 1 step of cohesion if all crew members survive. If any crew members pass away or die gloriously, the crew loses 1 cohesion. And then we're going to do our cohesion, which we're going to have independent. Actually, what I can do is we're going to go straight here and cohesion and extra actions. Independent. 0 extra actions. One, two, three, four. Keep that right there, so this is cohesion. Well, regardless of cohesion, the crew gains 1 experience, actually one experience for survival. Gains experience, which can be spent to improve. Which can be spent to improve themselves as well. To improve themselves, and then we're going to do a list. Our list is going to be the crew survives a battle / conflict, 1 experience. The crew kills a rival tank, 1 experience. And we're going to go preliminary notes. How do I want to do that? Okay. Crew kills a rival tank, 1 experience. The crew orders infantry to provide support to infantry squads. 1 experience. Each experience point may be spent to improve a crew member's skill by 1, or improve the tank commander's attributes by 1. I'm going to add a side note. Actually, if the crew is ever forced to replace a member of their crew, they start with 0 in all skills and do not. They start at 0 in all skills. Okay. All skills unless there is banked experience. Experience can be spent at the end of a battle or conflict. Okay, yeah, at the end of a battle. Yeah, we'll go with that. Now I get to write the note of, wow, this seems really easy. Like, what's the catch? Crew members pass. The crew members passes away or die gloriously. The crew loses 1 cohesion. Let's see, we want to go to table properties, middle, top, and 1.135 and 0.25, black 75, okay. Side note. The ease of leveling up. The ease of improvement. One may notice that the experience system is quite easy to understand. Quite easy to understand and improve characters with. Why? Iron Caskets is a deadly system. Very deadly, in fact. One bad hit and suddenly your driver's Swiss cheese and your gunner's lost his arm. This isn't even factoring in the times that your tank may explode. Killing everyone. Killing everyone inside. It's easy to improve when your life expectancy is measured more in hours than years. Start meat grinder theaters of war may have a single player go through multiple tank commanders, crews, getting attached to them and having them die heroically in the field of battle. It's not glorious. It's not pleasant. But that's life in the Iron Casket. This also means I'm going to have to write in an entire section when we hit the Groß und Panzer section of, slowing this down. I'll probably put that in the side section of like, hey, you want to slow this section down. Actually, that reminds me what I should do. I might cut the design workshop section. That's kind of a maybe if. Depending on if I want to do that or not. That's... the Reaper's Toll. Death is inevitable in war. And dying in the field is no greater achievement. In it. And dying in the field is no greater achievement in it. It's no greater no greater achievement when a tank commander and his crew die. The regiment gains gains fame, fame is honor depending on their actions and abilities. Any experience spent on the tank commander is converted into honor, while any experience spent on their crew is converted into fame. One thing about their crew. However, to compensate, their replacement will cost the regiment 5 logistics. 5 logistics to get a new tank and commander from another side of a new tank and commander, starting from ground zero. Starting from character creation. As the bodies mount up, the contribution of individual commanders lessens. Each subsequent death reduces the honor and fame gained by -1. Footnote: if a player loses 3 tanks, loses 3 commanders, their final these 3 commanders, they would have a -2 to all of their contributions to the regiment. Team commanders who are captured or are disabled do not contribute to the regiment's honor or fame. Okay, there we go. Actually, no. All right. We've wrapped up this section. This isn't as in-depth as I would probably want it to be overall, but for the sake of gameplay, I'll keep it fairly simple. Keep things flowing along nicely. Well, we got the entire regiment section done in this war section. So what we have to do next time is a few things. Our first major thing is we need to get the ammo situation sorted out. I know who to talk to about tank ammo, and I just kind of need to question them a little bit on it. Depending on when I get my answer, I may be able to do it right away, or I may have to take some time. I may just do that off camera, depending on how it goes. Next, we get to work on whether or not to do the design workshop. That'll be kind of me deciding things, just because of the nature of how this setting and how this game effectively is set up. I may say no to the design workshop and just cut out the entire thing and just say, this is how, and effectively add in a section, or probably earlier on, or in the extra tread or right before the extra tread section of, hey, this is how you design, like, this is what a sample tank would look like, or even put that up above during tank creation, like, this is what a Panzer IV looks like, this is what an M4 Sherman this is what an M4 looks like, or like this is what a Churchill is, something like that. Then we start working on extra treads. Probably how it'll go is we'll get unique crewmen first, supply lines, fate, destiny, advanced warfare, we don't really need that, arcade mode, slower advancement, fantastic tank designs. Actually, I'll probably do eras of tanks and then fantastic tank designs. And then I'm going to have an entire section dedicated to Senshado. Senshado from Girls und Panzer. Because we can't have kawaii tanks without kawaii fucking tanks. So, thank you all for watching. As always, my name is Notepad Anon. I will be uploading this series to YouTube once it's done. Which, depending on how things go, I'm estimating maybe 3 more sessions of this. 3, maybe 4, depending on if we go a little bit slower. Or we kind of get bogged down on some certain things. But overall, I'm not expecting this to be a much longer endeavor. We've actually done quite a bit. If we look at tools, go to word count. We're at 445 words. No. We are at tools word count. We are at 8,495 words, so about 85. Probably by the time we wrap up all the extra stuff, that'll probably be about maybe 9,000, maybe even 10,000, depending on how deep I want to go into that. But, yep, and follow me on YouTube. It's Notepad Anon. Just Google me, or just Google any of the other games I've worked on. If you enjoyed your time here, I usually stream. I try to stream every night. I've been meaning to stream earlier, but I'm also a vampire these days because of Corona-chan. So press F in chat for Corona-chan ruining my sleep schedule. I hope everyone had fun, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.